Hi and welcome. It's Joe here back at WoolieCottage.com. Happy New Year. If you've never seen me before or don't know who I am a wool dyer and fibre artist and I own and run WoolieCottage.com. And you can find me online, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll also find me at Patreon where I do more in-depth videos and lessons and workshops as opposed to appoint workshops over on that platform as well. So welcome to my first live chat of 2025. I won't see you for a couple of weeks. How are you doing? Hope you're all well. Hello, Bridie. Here's Bridie. So, do you know what? I haven't blended any art bats since about 7 weeks. I might have forgotten what to do and how to do it. Dog, will you get off me? Dogs are excited as well. God. So yeah, it's been about 7 weeks since I last blended any art bats. So that might no, Oh, actually, it could be beginning of December, and we're already halfway through January. So I would say it's about 6, 7 weeks since I last did any blending. So I'm going to recycle an art bag. Happy milder weather. Yes, I know it was bleak yesterday. We had 24 hours of low cloud, mist, and fog yesterday. It was wunderbar. Took the dogs down the beach in it, and you could feel the rain splattering on your face. Picked up a load of white stones and little bits of pottery and a gorgeous little piece of turquoise glass, which you don't often find down the beach. It's very, very rare to find. Turquoise, red, um, and a proper blue. And the reason is for that because red and blue were usually bits of glass that were found that came off, and I found some as well from ship's lanterns. So if you find any and they've got like little square bits on them, like crisscrosses, that's what it's from. They're from ship's lanterns. Iona, stop biting your feet. And also, find of the year as well, because we do this, Phil and I, when we go down the beach, which is literally just down the street. Bridie knows where it is. Um, Find of the week. It's in the flaming car, so I can't even show you. But I'll put a picture up on my stories on my Instagram later on. 'Cause I have to get out of the car. It's actually a proper oak wood section of where there would have been a metal key latch on it. Is but that big, and you can see where the screws are. And in the middle of the wood that's been carved out is an actual keyhole. And the size of the keyhole, I swear, this key that went in it would have been about that big. It's huge. So yeah, so I found that on the beach. I find all sorts of stuff when I go down the beach. I found a very naughty, probably 1970s and 1980s straw that probably swam all the way up from Blackpool. Very naughty one. That's in the back of the car somewhere. So I'll have to get that out one day so I can show you. You find all sorts down there because Whitehaven, where we live, was a very industrial town, not just importing coal and stuff like that, but they were self sufficient. They did glass and pottery and ceramics and that sort of thing. So, yes, we find all sorts down there. I've got Iona's plonked a bomb down there. As long as she's not behind my feet, I'm not bothered. So, yeah, I'm going to recycle this brat. Hiya, Sandra. This is called Prism. I need to take it off the website before somebody buys it. It's a hand blended 23 micron count merino, which has got slate merino, like a slate grey, and sari silk oil, stellina, just silk and viscose. I'm going to split it up. I'm going to make one into some of it into a scrappy batt. So these are the colours that I've got in it. So I'm going to take it off. I don't know if I've blended it in a gradient or anything. No, I haven't. It's just got loads of different colours in there. But I'm going to take some of it, and what I'll do is I'll pop some extra purple in, and I'm going to make a really scraggy batt, which I haven't done for ages. So I've got this, which is just leftover trim knits of wool. You can do this at home. If you've got any wool at home, I would go for a lace weight. You're going to go come up and have a beach walk. You need to. You need to come up and we'll go down the beach. Bring little in with you and all. Yeah, we'll go down the beach and we'll go glass picking. Because if you ever go on Etsy and you see people do that jewelry stuff out of washed up glass and stuff like that, there's a couple of ladies you'll spot down there with shopping bags, and they go down rootling for the beach on the beach. But the best place to go looking for it is just as the tide's going out and just below the tide line. I even found yesterday, and that's in the car as well, a Goofy mold, a Walt Disney Goofy mold. They would have had two pieces. I've got one side, but I need to find the other now. It needs to get washed up off the beach. Yeah, so one of those. and it hasn't got a date on it or anything like that. It's got the copyright symbol, but not the year. So I don't know how old it is, but it looks like one of those molds that you would have used for polyclay. You know, the old liquid plaster that you get as kids and kits and stuff like that. So it's one of those. I had to Google search and I couldn't find it anywhere. So yeah, that's what I found on the beach yesterday as well. You can find loads of marmalade jars down there, well, like sections of them, the stripy cream-coloured porcelain. So yeah, I've had loads of those over the years. When you get Dundee marmalade written on it. So I want to go and move out the way, love. I'm going to go for this purple, which is very similar to that purple that's in there. So I'm going to use some of this orchid. I'm going to strip that into strips in a minute, and I'm just going to booster this. What have I done with my? Do you know my scales? I'm so out of practice. Honest to goodness, I'm so out of practice. Where's my scales? There they are. I've got a bag full of my scales are just full of trash because I've been tidying up this studio as much as I possibly can. My loom's not coming back in here. The whole living room, the kitchen's getting moved about and DIY'd, and worktops chopped up into pieces and moved to another part of the kitchen. Right, so I'm just going to weigh out how much I've got here. So 39, 53, and my scruffy fibre. I might put in a little bit more of that. I might just go a bit overboard because it'd be interesting to spin this up next week. Not next week. Actually, no, I could do it next week and stick it on a video, couldn't I? But I might just do is a demo on a live chat in a couple of weeks' time, because you know when I'm doing live chats, sometimes it's nice to just sit there and have a natter, but sometimes you guys want to see actually what it is that I do, because I know that there's quite a few that don't know what I do. So that's 62. I think I might add a little bit more of this and not make it so. Oh, a minute. Actually, we'll go for a different shade of purple, I think. We'll go for a bit of this, the lighter purple. So add some, got merino and corridor there. And I think I will go for a different shade altogether and add in some darker purple. So I think we'll go down the route of different shades of purple. Might be the best. Looks fun and interesting. Yeah, a proper scrappy batt, I think, is the requirement. I think I'll put, there we go. That's 100 on there. I'm not going to add any more bits and pieces to it, but I think this might be quite fun to do. So I'm just going to do my usual, split my coloured wheels into little sections. So I'm going to do this as a gradient and add that in between. And then I've got this lighter purple here. Might be a little bit too light in context to the rest of these. I might have to go and raid a different shade of purple, because I think with those colours, this is too light. So I think I might have to reel back a bit on this one and go with, that's an all right purple. We'll go for a heather. I think we'll go with that one. That's more in context with them ones as well. So we'll put that, I'll leave that one there because I think that's a nice mix up with that orchid purple in between. And then I'm going to get my batt and I'm going to split that into 4 layers, into 4 sections. Now, when you work, if you're going to recycle an old batt or an ugly batt or whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure that you draft out your fibres properly so that it's not hard work when you're blending it in. And this is about half of the batt that I've just took off there, because it was only a small batt anyway. And if I feel like taking a section more off that other one, then I can do. It was only about 135 grams or something. So with this, what I want to do is just open it up. I'm not going to keep any of the characteristics because it's a mix match wool anyway. So I'm just going to go straight in and put this on as my first layer. And I will probably raid a bit more off the other batt at the same time. So I just want to use that to help cover the bottom. And then I'm going to start already straight in with my wool fibres. So yeah, if you want, I don't have that many ugly batts, they're mostly from you. Oh, listen to her sucking up. Yeah, but you can buy things that you thought looked fantastic when you first got them, and they've sat in your stash for a while and you've gone off those colours, or you're not quite for you anymore. So you might want to, like with this one, it looked pretty at the time. It's fair enough, but I might want to use it in a project where I'm using more dark purples and stuff like that, or I want more purple in there and to wash out the grey a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Or to create a gradient in between these layers, which is what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to go back in with a bit more of this because I know I've got that other section in the back. I know I can pinch a bit more because I'm feeling like there's a couple of bold spots here, and I only weighed at 100 grams, so I know I can play a little bit with a bit more. Now, if you were doing this at home, you'd be a bit more precise because you want the batt to be a specific weight for what you know you're capable of spinning it. So I'm going to get a bit more of my scruffy fibre, and I want it really, really textured. I reckon this will make it really interesting. I missed that, sorry, I will get that in a minute. I think this will make a really interesting art yarn as well as a hand spun, like a normal knitting yarn. So now I'm going to go in with my colours, and I've got 4 of them, and I'm sticking with 4 because there's grey in there and there's a hint of turquoise, so it'll probably get more washed out as the blend, as the spinning and the processing goes on. I.e. when you go to draft it and stuff like that, the blue might get lost a little bit in translation. And then we've got purple, a bit darker. And then the next purple over this one. So I'll move this box out of the way. And put that over there. And then I'll pick that a little bit because it wants to stick to my liquor. Right, then I'm going to go in with my scruffy fibres again. These ones. And then I'm going to... Yeah, do you know, I completely forgot all about it again. So if you want to create your own sort of scruffy fibres, I bought these years ago from World War. Got to go. We'll catch this evening. Take care and stay safe and well. And you, Bridie, go and run around after little one. More feel you. Sorry, I don't mean that, love. You go and enjoy yourself. I'm only jealous, love. I'm only jealous. Yeah. So if you want to create your own scruffy fibres, if you've got leftover wools or cones of wools, you can just get lengths of it and wind up around your chair, or if you've got a knitting oddie, if you have one of those, a knitting oddie, wind it up on one of those and then start to snip it and do lots of different colours, a bit like a pom-pom. You could even use a pom-pom maker, and instead of tying it up, just snip around, and then you've got loads of little scrappy fibres from lots of different colours. You can use any dimensions. If you want to use Aran or super thick yarns, or your really thin ones, you can use cottons and all sorts of stuff. Like cones of weaving cotton that there's not enough to warp up a loom with it, so you're wondering what shall I do with it. Just do that. Just cut up into loads of little scraps. Have maybe different bags full of scraps that are really thin, really thick, or a mixture of both. You could even do different coloured scraps where you've got set colours and tones in one. Just ideas and food for thought. So I'm just going to put this a bit more on here. Try and find my bold spots. There we go. And then get on with my recycled batt in there as well. Get that over one side. I'm starting from either side so that I know that I've got this side covered, and then it starts to blend over into the centre. No specific reason, only that they're really quite thin, and I just want to make sure I've got quite an even coverage. There we go. So again, I'm going to go in with my fibre, well, my mill dyed wool. There we go. And then that's quite a wide section there of that heather. And I'm going to go in with this orchid colour, and I'm just going to overlap them both. So you've got a smooth transition going from one colour to another. and then go in with this purple. Now, because it's quite a short piece, I'm just going to draft that out because it won't have a lot of coverage if I put it in as it is. So if I draft out the length of it a little bit, that means I can create a bit of a stripe instead of just a blotchy little section like I had first time round. And then this one again is a smaller section, and I'm going to draft that out and then just tease it open a little bit more. And then get my scruffy wool, my bits, and again and some more. Okay, there's no point me putting in, I'm not a massive fan of painting constantly on the back of the board unless it's to add textures and stuff like that, because if I'm running these through my front liquor, I'd love to do it, but I'll be here forever cleaning it up. If I put a load of these on my front liquor, like by the liquor here, all of these, because they're quite clumpy and they're not proper drafted out, they're going to end up getting stuck under here, and I'm going to spend more time with my carding brush pulling them up to get them on the drum. So this sort of thing, I'm quite happy to paint on the back drum. I sometimes don't see the point of, I see a lot of people online, or when I watch, like when I'm on Instagram, you see people come up with the reels and they're there painting all their wool on the back of the drum. I'm like, well, you've got this to do. And what I find as well, when you're doing that constantly, especially with this, if you've not drafted it out, you're going to get clumpy bits. You're going to get lumpy bits. You're not going to get a true blended sensation from your thingy. But that's my opinion. Everyone's got their own way of creating, and that's just my thought on it. That's all. So that's one little bit. So drafting out this piece here. It's really, really quite thin anyway, so I don't have to draft too much. And then by laying on my fibre before I pack down the back drum as well, means that I won't get tangled up and fight with the fibres that I've just added in. I've just taken another section off of that batt, and I'm going to just split that now, and I'm going to put this over here. I've got one more layering of colours to go on. Now I'll go in with my packing brush, a little hand carder, and I will just flick off the fibres that are at the front of my liquor. There we go. And my next layering of colour as well. So I'm just opening this up. Has anybody got any questions while you're here? Just pop a couple of questions down. If I don't catch them on the live chat, because sometimes I do miss them because I'm busy. I am a bit busy. But I will respond to them maybe in the next live chat, and I'll make a note of them, and I'll pop them down in case it's something, a question or an idea or suggestion, then I'll remember it. Go. So we've done the heather, now onto the orchid. Draft that out a little bit. This is getting nice and filled now, and it's not going to be a massively heavy weighted batt neither, but it's really getting filled because of the amount of fibre from those scrappy bits that I've added to this blend. There we go. And then my last bit of dark purple shade. So I've got 4 different tones of purple on here. I've got grey from the back, and I've got a hint of turquoise hidden in there somewhere. There we go. So I need to go in with my scruffy fibres again. This is going to be a very, very tweedy type yarn once it's been spun. And then I'm going to put in my last piece. Looks like there's a hint of Stellina in this, or is it Angelina? Who knows? I'm going to open this up quite a bit. I just want this to cover that, but I still want the colour by graduation to show through. And I'm going to add a little bit more just for dress. I'll get my card out and give it a quick packing down. There we go. Get this off here. Right, so that's that off. There's the piece I've just recycled that from. Take this off. Let's see what this looks like. I can feel the texture in there quite a bit, because you saw there's quite a lot that I would say is probably about 15 grams worth of fibre in there. Oh, looks cool. And there's still a little hint of sparkle coming in from the original batt that I did. So let's see. Hints of blues from the wools and things that the cottons and that was in that blend. And there we go. One very scrappy batt. The light's not perfect because obviously it's dreary outside. But yeah, so we've still got that gradient colourway in there with the hint of greys. And then you've got these darker purples going in as well. So it evens it out and it makes it more, I would say, more of a usable batt that you're actually going to see the transition of colours through there with hints of other things, plus this tweedy. So I think I'll have to make another one of these up. I'll put this on the website for next week because all the art bats, I start putting new art bats on the shop next week. But I think I'll put this one on the shop and do a 50. You like that, Mary? Hiya, love. Hiya, Mary. Yeah, this one will go on the shop as a scrappy batt. I might make a couple of different types of scrappy bats up, but I'll put one aside, and I might on my next live chat sit and spin it, or spin it up before then, and show you what the results have been. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It'd make a really smart looking art yarn. But I wouldn't mind spinning that down into a DK or an Aran, or even yeah, maybe a singles. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, that's that one. Does anybody else want to see another scrappy one, or a more of a tweedy one, or just something like, name me 3 colours and I'll see if they've got it in my stash and I can blend that up, because I've got a little bit of time left on my my allotted allowance that I give myself. So I've still got half of this left, and I could convert that with pinks and go down a scrappy pink route on that one. This seems to have more pinky colours on this side with a bit more blue. You love a scrappy batt? Yeah, it's got attitude, hasn't it? I think I might do this one with more erring on the pink side. Right, let's see how much weight we've got in this. 60 grams. Yes, a pink one, Mary says. Yes, Joe, do a pink one, Joe. Right, one pink. There's another shade of pink. Another shade of pink. And then that one. Okay, so we'll go for 4 different shades of pink again, but I have got, let me find my little tub. Watch out the way, doggy. Whoop, coming out the way. Now, we can go with the same scrappy yarn as what we had to start with, or I have these from synthetic fibres. Well, I think, yeah, synthetics and acrylic woolly neppy things. So I wonder if that'll look with the red. So you decide, do you want me to use these hundreds and thousands of neps or these ones that I've just used? And I'll just start weighing out the wools. It's a nightmare. This is all over the place. Right, there we go. So you guys decide, do you want the little tiny synthetic neps, or would you rather me use the neps that I've just used from that purple one? I think I might get away with keeping that there. That takes up to 88. Do the orangey pinks with greys neps in there? Yeah, I think I might. So you can see the difference in it, I suppose. A bit more gentler. Right, put that there. Bung that there. Do you know, I'm a nightmare. I don't put anything back, and then later on I come into my room and I can't find anything because I've not put them back. This is how I end up with the mess I end up in this room. And then we'll go with that colour there. And then one more. And these can just be nice small sample batts to go on the shop for next week. Next, just to see the difference. The little acrylic synthetic ones. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we'll do, is we'll go down that different route just to see the difference in the size of nets. And I may do a sample spin just to see how they've come out, just a small one. Because really all I have to do is just do my batt as usual and do small neps on one side and large neps on the other, and just split it in half and see how it turns out. So I've got this coloured pink. Right, put that there. And then I've got this lovely dusky rose. Put that there. And then I've got this orchid pink, but it's more of a softer version compared to the other one. So I'll keep that like that. And then we've got this ballerina pink on there. And then we've got this. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'll split this down the middle again. So about 60 grams on this batt. And then split that again down the middle into 4 sections, not 3, because you want the first layer on the base, and then you try and aim for finishing off with the same sort of blend on your last layer. But I'm going for 4 for now. There we go. And then the next piece, open it up, just so it's easier to card. Open it up and draft it down. But you want to make sure that you can sort of see your hand in behind it. That's what you're looking for when you're reblending a batt. And remember, though you're doing this, you're double carding it as well. You're double carding your fibres. Not all of them, but this has been double carded. Right, now I'm going to go in with those neps. And these, so that's what they look like. So you've got oranges and rusty reds, and there's some dark greens in there and some greys and hints of blues as well. Excuse the noise of my drum carder. I've been filming for Patreon this week, so I covered tidying and cleaning and caring your spinning wheel. Next week's video is drum carding. So my drum carder desperately needs a good sort to see into. So it's making a noise because my fiber's all stuck down the side, and I can't clean it until I get my camera out and film up next week's video. So excuse the sound like it's in pain, because it technically is. So I'm going to put these rovings on now and just open them up a little bit. Draft it out a touch as well. And then the next colour, open that up a bit, maybe draft it down a little bit so it's not so clumpy, and then just overlap that over a little. Then that colour is more of a salmon pink. Put that on next. And then this lovely dusky rose. So this one I draft out because it's a smaller section. Open it up a little and get that on there. Then get some of my synthetic nets and come this way around with it. And it's flipping everywhere. It's pink and it's like the popping candy nets. I can just see them springing up everywhere. Right, there we go. Like, I've just tidied this. Look at mess it's making. Right, next bit of recycled batt on there. And then a dash more. I'm going to open up this one a little bit more so it comes over. It's quite thick section, this one. There we go. Add a little bit of neppies on there as well. Now the smaller pieces, I will say now, get dragged out your hand more, easier. I'll bring you over, have a look. Get dragged out your hand a lot more easier because they're so small. And you end up with these clumpy areas. And to try and pull them out, it's actually quite painful. So in using these in comparison to this lot, I have more control over these longer sections, which are roughly about 1 inch to 2 inches in sections on your scrappy yarn, in comparison to these nets, that some of them are barely a centimetre long. So options wise on usage, go for the longer handmade scrappy yarns if you can. That would be my tip. Right, so we want a bit more of this, don't we? I'm going to now split this piece that I didn't split into sections earlier. I'm just going to open this up now, draft it out a little bit and just spread it right along the bottom of my drum because I want to try and save a piece for the end. Right, where's my... I'm going to pack it down a bit and start pulling up the fibres off my liquor. Partly because I don't like seeing this dirty, I like to sort of just clean up as I go along. Right, so onto my longer section of pink, which will take up a wider space. There we go, that's one. And then we've got these next three. So these thinner sections, shorter sections, I am going to draft a little and open up a bit. There we go. And again with this one. And then that one. Go in with my nets. I'll start from this side this time because I've started from this side a couple of times. Oh, there we go. Go in with a little bit of the batt. Open it up. And then pack it down again and just repeat till you get to the end. There you go. And then last bit. Shorter pieces, draft out and tease open. And another piece, draft out a little just to thin out, so hopefully, potentially, it doesn't stick to your front liquor. Every time I say that, it happens anyway. There we go. And the last piece. Pack this down before I put on the next lot of fibres. You can see that lovely colour change there, can't you? Right, so we'll go with some more of these. And then get a little bit more so I can go in and try and cover my bold spots. Try and do it while it's not moving. I think give me a bit more control of these smaller sections. There we go. That helps a little. And then my last piece of art batt that we've recycled, stretch that out. And then try and clear up my front liquor. That's going to take me forever to clean that off. It's going to take me forever to clean that off. Right, let's get this off and my doffer. So from this side, tease up. Oh, there we go. A bit of a chunk then. And then there we go. There we have. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And we'll pop over into the desk so you can get a proper look at them in a better light. So I've got my big overhead light, ceiling light on here. Overhead light sound like I'm in a studio. So there we go. We have one very neppy. What are you bantering back for? One very neppy art batt and a gradient. So we'll pop over the other side. I'll grab this one and I'll get a quick chat with you for a photograph. Oh my lord, where's all that? Do you know that bag of neps? I've dropped it all over the floor. I'm surprised the dogs haven't eaten it. Honestly, hold on a second. Let's put these here. Oh, my net basket. And a full pile of it on the floor. Oh, get out my food. Get attacked by a doggy. Look, oh, that was on the floor. That'll have to go in the bin. Oh. Right. Let's stick you back a bit. Oh. Didn't realise you lot were wonky. You were all wonky. Right, so here is the purple one we did with the longer neps, and you can see the length of some of those neps. They were definitely a lot easier to handle. And there is the gradient that you can see. So you've got the darker purple there and transitions through to that heathery tone. And it's not obvious to start with until you start to spin it. So I'm quite impressed with how that's come. And it feels very woolen. It feels like because it's been partially double carded. So you've got the milled roving on there, mill dyed roving processed in a mill. And then you've got my hand dyed art batt that's been not only carded beforehand, but I've recycled it and it's been double carded now. So it feels a lot firmer. Both are lovely. Thank you, Mary. Both are a lot firmer in comparison to what it felt like as a batt in the first place. So like here's a mini one and it's got structure to it, but it's not firm unless I've got a couple layers of it. That's exactly how this feels. It feels a lot bouncier in comparison to, well, you shush your mouth and leave people alone. They're not bothering you, growling out the window for strangers. It's definitely you like them both, especially the purple one. Thank you, Sandra. It's got a lot more, feels firmer is the word I'm looking for. The structure of it is firmer, but it's double carded. So you've got that feel to it. And I think that would make a lovely, decent tweedy Aran or a DK weight, which is my usual spin to. It seems to be the only thing that I stick at consistently is a DK weight. So that's the purple one. And here is the pink gradient one. There you go. And that's actually turned out really quite nice. Both of them has got a tiny little bit of sparkle in it. There we go. And though it was popping out all over the place for me, right, let me just grab some of this. It wasn't half as bad as blending up this lot. Proper wool neps. I'll have to do that one next time, the wool neps. But there you go. So what do you think? So there's the gradient in it. There's the dusky rose going through into two different shades of pink, more of a corally pink, and then into a dusky pink, and then into the ballerina at the end. And just adding that last little layer, like literally, you're probably lucky if it was an eighth of that art batt. Put on the last layers of both of those, just to give them that hidden look of, oh, I didn't realize it was a gradient until you start to spin it up. But then you've got this consistent layering all the way through that'll transition through all the gradients to give it a uniformed sort of transition. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, those neps, hard to control in the sense of when I'm putting on the blending on the drum carder. It was easier to add them when the drum card had stopped in comparison to when it was moving. So for control wise, I would just put them on every so often as you're actually blending. But that I'm quite impressed with. It's turned out really well. So both of these will be on the website next week. I'm hoping for the batts to be out on Sunday, if not it'll be Monday, because my World of Wool order has taken a week to get to me. And it's getting delivered in the next 15-20 minutes. So I'm not, bless them, they'll probably run off their feet. But usually when I put an order in, I've got it within 48 hours and I've waited an entire week for it. So that's putting me back a little bit. I was planning to have all my batts all done and dyed this week, but it's just not happened at all. It's not happened at all. So there you go. Did you guys find that useful? I like to do the odd little short demos on here just to see what I do for the living, especially as I say, there's a lot of people coming and watch it later on that just find me on the recommendation feed. And you don't know what I do, but you'll see me here chatting away and you don't know what I'm waffling about half the time. But yeah, I think next time I come on and do a live chat, I'll probably sit and get the spinning wheel done so she's all nice and clean and pretty, because she was done the other day. So I think that's it for now. You can see more videos like that over my Patreon account if you want to come over and join us for £3 or £4, £3 or £5 a month. If you go back and watch last week's video, I explain why it's easy to access Patreon via the internet search engine. instead of via the Apple apps. So if you want to just go back and refresh that and explain why, it saves you money because Apple put a surcharge on if you use their app store. That's the short and long of it. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come over there. There's going to be a lot more blending to spin videos next for this following year over there, and preparing rovings and touching on a little bit of dyeing throughout the year. There's a reason behind that, but I'll let you know about that in due course. There's only a few people that actually are aware of my plans. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Don't forget to hit hit the like on the video, and if you don't already subscribe, please do subscribe to my channel if you watch on a regular basis. I know that there's quite a few out there that don't actually subscribe, and it costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel. It actually helps my channel to grow and find new and other viewers. I'm about 938 at the moment, and I'm really trying to get up to 1,000 this year, which would be brilliant. So anyway, I'm off ski for now ski. I will catch you in a fortnight's time for a live chat. If you want to see me before, then you can catch me on a Saturday afternoon lunchtime over on Instagram. But I'll be putting up a new video next week. So take care for now. Toodle pips. I'll see you soon.